right,
so I'll cut it.
Hell yeah.
All right, so we're here with Will. Realiswill is your social media name, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Stand-up comedian.
Yes, sir.
I met you through Danny Mullen.
Danny Mullen, yeah.
How do you know Danny?
I met Danny through stand-up. It was actually at an open mic. I met him, but I met his partner in crime, Leo.
Yeah.
So it started with Leo first, and then Leo introduced me to Danny Mullen at an open mic in North Hollywood, and then went on from there. And then we did a couple of shows together, and then we started shooting videos, and yeah, we're really close. We're about to go to Alabama next week as well.
Dude, what are you doing there?
We're actually gonna go dress up as the KKK as a bit down there. Yeah, we're gonna do some crazy crap down there, and then we're gonna do a show as well on Sunday night. So we'll be there the 16th through, I believe, the 19th.
What was your guys' first video about?
Our first video we did was acting black on Black Friday at Best Buy. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty cool, man. He put on a do-rag, and it was just a mess. We're fighting with the security inside Best Buy, and then we went down to like downtown LA. We went towards like the Skid Row area.
Yeah.
And that was just that was horrible, dude. It was just first time we were all together at the Tesla, we seen this one black guy that was like fucking butt naked right outside.
Damn.
But that's how we and then from there we just started a bond, and then almost every week we're like shooting something, we're doing podcasts, we're getting ourselves in trouble and stand up, like, so it's been an adventure so far, and I'm looking forward to the rest of the year, see what happens.
All right, dude. So the whole gist of this podcast is I like to bring comedians on or just anybody that I find interesting.
Yeah.
But primarily, it's a supernatural show. This is Jake Thomas Supernatural. So the center of the show is paranormal or experiences anything supernatural, like you've had with ghosts or demons or God. Any of that I'm really interested in, and my audience is really interested in.
Yeah.
I built my audience on this page at least. I've had multiple pages around paranormal. Do you have any paranormal experiences?
Actually, I remember I was talking to you about it. I used to work at a motel. About 2 years ago, I was an overnight clerk. I worked from 12 to 8 a.m. in the morning. So I worked the graveyard shift, and I was all weekends. I was working Friday, Saturday, and sometimes I rotate. Every other Sunday I'll work. But, that's when I was 21 at that time, and I did that for about a year and a half. And, dude, it was a lot of, creepy encounters, because I worked at one that was on Sepulveda. I don't know. Am I able to say the name of the place? Yeah, it's called Hometown Inn. I don't know if that's still the name, but that place was run down, bulletproof glass. I didn't even think it was bulletproof glass to begin with. The door, it was like a rusty door for the office that we had to come into. And I remember it was always rolling blackouts, at 3 in the morning especially, all the time, rolling blackouts. And it freaked me out a lot of times because I'm like, is this it? Is this where because I could picture, I thought I died a couple times, but I realized because I would have what do you call it? I would fall asleep a lot on the job as well.
Yeah.
So I forgot the term where you get an outer body experience.
Because you're working the night shift.
Night shift, yeah.
Out of body experience. I don't know. I guess it's out of body experience. Yeah.
Yeah. I was just I guess it's called I forgot the name. It's where you fall asleep and then you have
sleep paralysis.
Sleep paralysis. There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had that a lot. On the job.
Oh,
but I never had it at home ever. When I was at home sleeping, never had that. But when I got on the job and I slept in the office, I had sleep paralysis all the time, and I would have these views where I'm third person view watching myself, and I would see people prostitutes, because it's Sepulveda. So there was prostitutes. So I was see prostitutes outside the building walking, and I was wait a second, is this a dream or am I or what's going on? I thought I have died a couple of times, and then something I would just suddenly wake up out of the blue, out of nowhere. But it happened a lot, dude. That job.
Really?
A lot, yeah.
So what would you see? You just see yourself.
Yeah.
And
I would see myself, and then I would see people approaching from the distance from the parking lot to come try to get a room by around 4 in the morning, or I would be the vice versa. People checking out, and I would always see them, and I was I need to go back to my body. So I would try to wake up, but I just couldn't wake up right away. And I remember I was just frozen inside, just looking up and then when I try to get back into my body, I would just be frozen looking to the corner of the room, and I just wouldn't even know what to do at that point.
Really?
And I'll wake up and I'll be freaked out. I'll be oh, it happened again. And then again. And then it would just repeatedly keep happening. But I was only working this job. When I tell this story to people, they're why'd you keep working that job? I was I had to work this job just to make ends meet, because I was working another full-time job, but I also had to work this job to make ends meet because everything's expensive now. So I was
dude, it's LA.
Yeah, so I was it wasn't really a choice of mine I really had, but it's this job is low-key, because my other full-time job, it was on my feet all day, taking orders in the drive-thru, dealing with customers.
I seen your videos, El Pollo Loco,
Pollo
bro.
Loco, yeah. So you already know, like, it was a lot. So like, I would do that all day long, and then like nighttime, I was thinking I need a chill job. So it was the most chill I can get, but there was just always these cold feelings like when I was in that room. It was just always like, and it brought like this sadness when I was in that room. But I found out there was like a Chinese family that lived there previously, and then I found out the room above me somebody had come. Yeah,
At the motel.
At the motel, yeah. But I wasn't working at that time. But someone told me a year ago before I got there that someone right above had signed the room atop.
Man, when I do, and I stopped doing these ghost hunting videos. I mean, like I told my dad that I would, because he's a Catholic like me. Despite what you guys heard on the last episode, I did mention that I was Catholic, but I was a bit iffy about it, and I really regretted like being so iffy about it after I watched the episode back. I was like, hold on, like I'm trying to be like open to everyone's own belief system here, but I also like feel obligated to mention my own belief system while still being open to other people's belief system, because what I believe isn't because of what I was taught growing up. It's because of what I experienced while I was ghost hunting and a couple other experiences that we could talk about later. But yeah, I was just, so for that reason, for the record, I am a very devout Catholic, and obviously I joke around. Obviously, I don't follow all of the rules all the time, like do the math, but and luckily I have a beautiful girlfriend now who, part of my search when I entered that dating field again was I want to stop being like a Playboy bachelor, and I want to be in a serious relationship if it's the right girl, because I want to like, limit sin and devote my life to Jesus as much as I can. We're not married yet or anything. She's obviously, she's great, and if I'm going to be with anyone, it's going to be her. So anyway, though, the point being, when I was doing the ghost hunting videos, I'll probably cut all that out. When I was doing ghost hunting videos, we use this thing called the spirit box. And the spirit box is a variation of technology that was, I wouldn't say created, but kind of discovered through Nikola Tesla and Thomas Edison. A lot of people don't know this, but Nikola Tesla and Thomas Edison were paranormal investigators. They're obviously innovators, but they piggybacked off of each other when they were working on projects. They're always like, Nikola Tesla was more like behind the scenes. Thomas Edison was kind of like taking some of his work and then publicly doing it, publicly exposing it, publicly monetizing it, capitalist. So that's why he's more famous. One of the reasons why he's more famous than Nikola Tesla before Elon Musk. Elon Musk, genius, love him. Obviously, there's some things that he said that I don't agree with, just like anybody, but he's an innovator and he's a brilliant man. That's why he named it Tesla, is because it was, he felt like Nikola Tesla didn't get enough credit.
Yeah.
Part of the reason, a lot of people don't know, you guys can look this up, is when Nikola Tesla died, he had a lot of his trunks that had all of his information and all of his like research. When he passed away, guess who was assigned to go immediately when he passed away to go and get his trunks and bring them to the government and call them classified documents that no one can see? Do you have any guesses?
Elon.
No.
Elon?
No, this was his great-grandfather.
Right? No, I'm not. No, sure. No.
It was Donald Trump's grandfather.
Really?
Yes, Donald Trump's grandfather was the one that went and took the trunks that had all of Nikola Tesla's research on the paranormal, time travel, all the things that the public shouldn't know. That's the reason why it wasn't public information. It was Donald Trump's grandfather. Pretty wild.
Would you like? I heard in current events right now with the news is going on with the whole thing with like the government. They have like a due date to release the alien files. Would you believe that those things are also in the files that has to get released? Like,
yeah,
the unknown files is supposed to be released soon.
Some came out today. Some came out this
Really?
morning. I did a video on it. Yeah, some came out this morning, and they're really choppy, like military footage. But it's I mean, UFOs, they don't know who they are. They could be, enemies, that from other countries that we don't know about. Obviously, we're not going to tell other countries about our technology and about, the technology that we have for, planes and weapons and all this. But our military didn't know what the hell they were. Yeah. And they were moving at rates that no human technology that's publicly known so far by the American government was moving. And that was released today.
Really?
Yes.
I have no clue about that. Because I heard about it. They're supposed to release it, but I didn't know they released it today.
They did the first phase today.
Wow. When's the next one coming?
I don't know, but I can't wait, bro. Or maybe I can. I don't know. Because there's so many, there's like, it's really annoying because you'll hear like people say anytime there's new news now involving Trump, and I'm, my thoughts on him, right? I'm very moderate with everything because I don't trust the media, right? And I come from a military background with my father, who's a Republican, and my mother, who's a liberal. They're divorced. So that kind of like really built me, but I don't care about that. Yeah. I find truth in what I find truth in, and I think that the partisan system is BS that tells you that they're controlling what the left believe and they're controlling what the right believe. Yeah. And they're using that to manipulate the entire society. Obviously, you use your brain, and any situation is not black and white, right? Yeah. There's like secret answer C is what one of my college professors used to tell me. Secret answer C is usually the answer because it's not always black and white. It's usually not black and white. So anyway, dude, I want to know more about you. I'm talking too much.
No. I appreciate it. Yeah, because I didn't know there was like like you said, phase one, and then they're going to release other documents. I heard about that too, is that something about like they're scared that I heard about that the next information, whatever, like the unknown files get released. Something that I guess Christians are going to like, something about believing Christ is going to scare them. That I heard it has to do something where it's going to mix everybody up religiously.
Are you talking about Project Blueprint?
That's why I'm thinking so. Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking of when you brought up the topic, because that's the thing, dude. We don't know. Like, AI's out. Mm-hmm. I work in cybersecurity, or you may not know that, but I work in cybersecurity. I remember
you mentioned it, yeah. I've seen you post it, too. You promote your cybersecurity.
Thank you.
Yeah, because, I remember because I've seen you promote it, and you've talked to me about it the first time we met as well, and that's your specialty as well, that you were mentioning that, and that you said, like, nowadays, like, anybody's exposed. Like, anything can happen.
Yeah, bro. Any, like, 13-year-old can go and use AI to hack anybody or anything. So that's why people are like, oh, AI is going to take your job. I'm like, not me, brother. Because, and obviously I do this, and it'd be great to be able to do this full-time or whatever. But I do have a true interest in technology and AI and threat intelligence. So I gravitate towards that, and that's, a very lucrative field that I'm very interested in, and I'm interested in being at the forefront of technology at all times. Yeah. But, it's very volatile, and it lets me know, knowing what I know, anyone can be manipulated. Yeah. We can very easily be manipulated.
Right?
Yeah, dude.
What do you think about the whole thing about like the antichrist, like saying that AI is the antichrist? What do you believe about that? Do you think that's a real thing?
Man, I definitely have put a lot of thought into that, and I mean, it's subjective because when you say the antichrist, in my opinion, it could be like an objective being, like people think Elon Musk is. Yeah. Or it could be a subjective being or beings where it's like, okay, this is against Christ. We're living forever, and I'm one of those guys who's out here like doing what he loves, but I'm also money hungry. I'm also, every day I'm making sure I'm going to get rich or die trying. Just because it's something to do, and I managed to find a way over the years, back when I was acting, to find a way to like be like, okay, what can I do that I'm interested in that uses my creative mind? I'm left-handed, so I use predominantly the right side of my brain that allows me to be so creative naturally, even in my dreams, to monetize that so that, I could live the best life possible and be free and not be a slave and, basically just do whatever I want in the sense of we only have so much time. Time is our most valuable asset, right? So it's like I want to make the most use out of my time while I'm here on Earth, and not where it's like, oh, let me make as much money as possible. I just want to make enough to do whatever the hell I want. And I'm already kind of doing that. But I still have to do some things I don't want to do.
Yeah.
Like all of us almost.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we all have to do something we don't enjoy, man. Yeah, because I know you mentioned you're also Catholic.
Yeah.
And then what do you believe at the end of the day is like, I know as well the paranormal activity, like, where do you believe we go after we die? Because I've actually been having this lately, like the past couple of weeks, or actually no, a few months actually, where I just go online and I'm just like, there's this, I don't know if you've seen this one podcast clip, this black lady, she talks about she was in hell and she saw Biggie in hell and the figure of Tupac. And she said that when she saw Biggie in hell, that this lady said that he had like a time bomb in his chest and he kept blowing up repeatedly. Have you seen that clip? I don't know if you see. I don't know if it's. I've seen it a bunch of times pop up on me. So.
I haven't seen it, but that's so interesting, man. Because I do watch a lot of clips of people that have had near-death experiences or they actually died, and they come back. I've got my own reasons as to why I believe what I believe, and that's probably their reasons why they believe what they believe. Because usually the ones that come out and say that are talking about like how they were atheists before or whatever. But so are you asking me what do I believe happens when we die?
Yeah, like what do you think happens? Because that question has been on my mind, like as well. Like I do believe in Jesus Christ as well, but it's like I do question like because there's so many things nowadays because. Like media is just like it's everywhere. Like it's gone into my head honestly to the point where it's like, where do we go when we die? Like, cause everyone's saying like, oh, you'll be reincarnated. Oh, you'll come back. You either go to hell or heaven, or oh, you'll probably your soul will just linger on earth until Christ comes back. And I'm hearing all these things. I'm like, so what really happens? You know what I mean? At the end of the day.
Well, I definitely have a very strong belief system on that based on what I've experienced. So part of my belief system, all of my belief system is based on what I've experienced. Part of my belief system is what I've experienced on camera. So you guys can go and when I say you guys, I'm talking to the audience and you, look at my videos. And I know that when we did a video, I was kind of joking around because we were with Danny Mullen and we got the Wanksters and we got those brilliant, hilarious stand-up comedians such as yourself and Bradley Johnson, Danny Mullen, Leo F. But I actually do take it seriously because the technology, like to follow up on what I was saying earlier, the technology that I'm using, Nikola Tesla and Thomas Edison were using to communicate with the other side. And they were geniuses of that generation. And the responses that I've got using the spirit box, using these various devices that are using this technology to tap into the other side, it's been very consistent. The spirits that I spoke to that have answered me when I asked them why they're still here is they've all told me that they've healed themselves, they've died of a drug addiction, or they just say, I'm stuck here. When I talked to an exorcist about it, the exorcist told me that they're stuck in purgatory. And that does, it's like, unless you've had something, an experience in that realm, you're not going to believe it. I didn't believe it. I mean, like my first supernatural experience, which we can touch on later, with actual like touching to the belief system of Jesus or Catholicism or Christianity, happened when I was 17 years old. Before that, you know, like any smart person with a logical mind is going to question it. You question it, like you just said. You know, we're all going to question it because there's fairy tales, there's Santa Claus, there's technology, right?
Yeah.
There's so many people yapping, saying this and that, and good. We should question it. We shouldn't just believe anything that we're told. I believe that.
I like that mindset that we have to question it, because I never thought of it like that. Because I was like, I've always questioned it, but I never like wanted to question too hard into it, because it's like, am I doing wrong by Christ if I keep questioning things? But like you said, it is like you should question it. You shouldn't follow right away through what one person says. Like, you're right, yeah, because like you said, we'll get manipulated and stuck into it. Like, oh, you have to. But,
yeah, no, dude, no. I mean, I respect your devotion to. Are you Catholic?
I'm not Catholic. I'm Christian. But
Okay.
I'm Puerto Rican, but you know, Puerto Ricans, a lot of them are Catholic at the end of the day.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So I respect, you know, you believe in what you believe in, and for whatever reason, but I would say that most people operate on faith, and we're taught in Christianity or Catholicism to operate on faith, and that's great. You know, people that can do that. I wasn't one of those people. I operated on evidence and experience, and I really respect people that have faith. And maybe I probably would have operated on faith, just because I'm, you know, an optimistic person, and, you know, I know that we can't explain anything about our origin.
Yeah.
And I always had the thought as a kid. I had two recurring thoughts as a kid. The first one was, look at the earth around us. When involving God or a creator, look at the earth around us. Look at the fruit and the vegetables that grow from the ground naturally. No. Look at an orange, concealed by a concealant that keeps it safe from germs and all this, and then you peel it. And when you peel it, it's in it's already like pre-cut.
Yeah.
And it fits your mouth perfectly.
Yeah.
That's a creator.
Yeah.
Maybe it's human. Maybe it's a human that, you know, thousands of years ago did some, you know, scientific research and planted it and it grows. That's possible. I don't know. But that at least let me know that there was a creator. There is something that we don't know. And then when I had the experiences that I had, that we can get into later, because I'm very touchy on the subject. Mm-hmm. I'm really touchy on divine intervention. I'm really touchy on times when God came to me or the Virgin Mary came to me and spoke to me, because two reasons. One, it's divine and it needs to be respected. And obviously I know you would respect it. I'm not talking about that. Yeah. I'm just saying, like, it's but two, I'm not free from sin. I'm not like perfect. I'm not, you know, even pretending to be. I think people that pretend to be are the evil ones.
I agree too. Yeah, like, no, I'm not perfect, and I tell you, but dude, I've done a lot of fucked up shit, man. Yeah. I've done a lot of things, and it's like I'm not a perfect person, and every day is like you could only try to be perfect, but at the end of the day, you're not perfect.
No, man, and we're, you know, like when we do our research, we see that, like, we're told that we're not by God.
Yeah.
You know, this is the devil's playground. Earth is the devil's playground. Yeah. This is evil. We're born in sin. Exactly. You know, and I don't want to make this like a religious podcast or whatever, but I'm not going to like hold in what I believe. And I don't want anyone sitting on the opposite chair of me to hold in what they believe, whether they're Muslim, Jewish, or whatever the hell they are, you know, because I believe what I believe and they believe what they believe. And,
exactly, yeah.
You know, but to answer your question, yeah, I believe that there's a purgatory. I believe there's a heaven. I believe there's a hell. As crazy as it seems, as crazy as it sounds, the experiences that I've had, the spirits, based on what they've told me, it aligns with what the exorcists and Catholic priests have told me. Yeah. And it's you know, love it or hate it or think it's fake. If you experience it, put yourself in my shoes. If you've experienced it and it's that supernatural and divine, it's really hard to deny it.
Yeah.
You know.
I've had close encounters because growing up, I've had depression when I was younger, and just like I was always like a negative mindset guy. And then I had at one point when I was in my teenage years, I was like cursing God. I was like, oh, I don't believe whatever. You know what I mean? Like, you're not helping me out anyway. And I believe that the past 7 years of my life, because I was working like nonstop jobs, and I was just so confused, and I just didn't care, and I was just like, whatever. And I'm not like big into drugs or alcohol, but one thing is I love eating, so I was just eating myself to death and just no. That's why I'm so big. But I'm right now currently trying to lose weight, but I was just eating and just working and stressing and just going out every night with friends and just doing stupid shit. Like I didn't care about my life, whatever, until like it was just last summer I started talking to Jesus more, and I was asking him, I was like, what do I have to do? Like I don't want to continue like slaving away, like working this 9 to 5, and it wasn't even a 9 to 5. It became like a 9 to 9 at this point. I was just nonstop working. I just asked him, I was like, what do I have to do? What do I have to do? And then like I was sitting there praying in the parking lot at work and just asking like, what I got to do. And then my best friend called me, and then because my best friend does e-commerce, so he works online, and I worked with him online as well, but it's not like sitting on a computer is like it's not my thing. I'm not like crazy sitting there. Then he called me and he's like, "What's up, man? How you been? We haven't talked in a while." And I told him, I'm just like, trying to figure out answers in my life because I just don't want to do this no more, dude. Like I'm tired of like slaving away. Like, I don't have a life to live. And this is when at the point till I was getting to comedy. And he's like, dude, just talk to Jesus. Just ask him. Just like ask him what plans does he have for you next. And I said a prayer that night, and then the next day I went to work. Things were starting to change in the environment at work. I'm like, okay, things are like getting easier. My district manager coming around a lot more, but I noticed I'm like, my district manager's coming in more. That means like they're prepping to terminate me. And I was like, shit, I'm gonna get fired. And I got fired 2 weeks later. And
From the motel.
Not from the hotel. It was a food restaurant I worked. It was a Tacos 1986.
Okay.
And I got fired. And then my life started to completely change after I got fired. I was scared, but then I kept talking to Jesus, and I was like, asking, I was like, okay, my job's gone. What's next? My dog died 2 weeks later.
Fuck.
Had a car accident 4 weeks after that. Then my relationship ended 6 weeks after that. So things were just like, he was taking away all these things from me. And I was like, all right. I kept believing in what he had for me, and I was like, Jesus, let's just keep doing it. Whatever next you gotta. If you want to take my life in 8 weeks from now, let's do it. You know what I mean? I was at that point. I was like, whatever's gonna happen, let it happen. And things started turning upward for me actually, because I got booked more in comedy. I started getting more stage time, and on top of that as well, as when around the time I met Danny, met Leo, and then my best friend offered me a position in his company to work full-time remotely. And I was like, I can still make a living, and I could do what I want, work with my best friend, and devour my life to Christ. And I could continue doing comedy, too, at the same time. So it was just like so much at once. My whole life completely changed back in September. So
Man, congratulations, bro.
yeah, everything changed. And I look at it now, I'm like, I think it has to do it, too, as well. Like, look at it at the end of the day, it's like my mindset was just, I was so negative. I was just so angry at the world, and I was just so upset, and I was like, I just didn't care, but I feel like I got a second chance at life. So, and I'm out here with you, man, so it's exciting, dude. It's like,
hell yeah, man.
Yeah, so.
Well, dude, I'll tell you one thing, man. I know I've been in LA for 11 years as an actor, and it's been highs and lows, and I've known, people that became famous and people that haven't, mostly haven't, but comedy is great because, from my opinion, you create. Yeah. You're not waiting on an opportunity. You're creating, and there's two reasons why I know you're going to make it even bigger than you are now. One, you're hilarious. Yeah, you know your niche. You're very funny. But two, people want to work with you because 5 seconds with you talking to you, I could tell you're a genuine guy. Yeah. You're a good guy, nice guy. People want to work with people they like, right? So you have everything you need to succeed on a massive level, and you're already, doing massive numbers on your videos, and you're a funny guy, and it's gonna get way bigger than it already is, and I know that for a fact. So yeah, man, it sounds like God's working through you, bro.
Yeah, and as I mentioned back to my dog passed away. It's funny because another situation was when I had the car accident after she passed, like 2 weeks after she passed. When I got hit, it was funny. They hit my passenger side, and that's the side she was on for the last time. Yeah, when they impacted my door, and it was like I was like, I got T-boned at a roundabout. And the lady hit my door, and I was like, crap, dude. Like, and I felt something there, like my dog was protecting me. Like things happen for a reason.
Yeah.
So that's another thing I believe in as well. Things do happen for a reason.
Absolutely. Do you believe animals have supernatural abilities at all?
Oh, I believe in that, definitely. Yeah, like even when I sleep at night, I do feel like it's. Some people freak out when I say this, but I do feel like my dog's still next to me on sleeping at night.
Yeah.
Like I always leave a spot in my bed, like for my dog. I don't even, and I always make sure I open the door first thing in my room in the mornings to let the dog out, like as if she's still there. And I keep the same routine going, because I do feel that she is with me everywhere I go. Even like I feel like she is in the room with me right now. Sounds crazy, but I do feel like she is following me everywhere I go.
Man, what kind of dog was it?
It was a pit bull mixed with a Labrador.
Oh,
and her was Cookie. Yeah, I had her for 17 years.
Damn.
Long time, yeah.
That's tough, dude.
And I also believe in too that your animal will like know it's time to go. Especially if the vet was like, dude, this dog's been around for 17 years. He's like, and the vet said something that I didn't think of. Is like, she passed away now is because she was like, she held out because he told me he's like, dude, she was supposed to be due like a year ago, but she held out like another year because he's like, I guess she was blind in the left eye. I didn't know. Like multiple things was wrong with her body. And I didn't think of it like that, like long term. But long story short, he told me, it was like, dude, like she let you go because she knew that you were ready. Like something's here for you, and she knew that you're gonna be okay. So I do believe in that. That animals, like once they do pass away, that they're letting you know like you're gonna be okay.
Yeah, man, and they definitely have a lot of extra senses. Like when my father. After my parents divorced, we were living in Brussels, Belgium. My parents divorced. I moved with my mother to Texas from Belgium. We're an American family, but my father was an officer in the military and he was working at NATO over there. And he then married a woman that was from Belgium. And a drunk driver hit them from the back. He was on his motorcycle. She was on the back. Drunk driver hit them from the back. And my dad was a colonel, very like one rank below a general, like very high-ranking military official, straight arrow. And he had a number of supernatural experiences. He was so depressed. Like she died and he lived. She was on the back of a motorcycle. He was on the front. Drunk driver hit them from the back in the Hampton Roads Bridge Tunnel. And this is when I was living in Texas when we found this out. And he had a maid, or not a maid, but like a housekeeper at the time. While he was recovering because his like ribs were broken. He was like, broken physically and emotionally. Psychic. This lady was a psychic. And he didn't believe in that stuff, but like she was like telling him stuff that only he could know and she could know, despite not just her like going through his things because she was the housemaid or whatever, but things that there was no evidence of from the other side between his former wife that's now deceased, messages to him. And he had all of that, happen to him. And then he started going, the psychic was like, you should go to this church called the Metaphysical Chapel of Life in Newport News, Virginia. Shout out. And they would do like meditations. They were open to people of all religions. It was metaphysical. They do, like psychic readings. They do paranormal things like on certain nights of the week, table turning, I think they called it. It was like a seance. But he was like desperate because he felt so guilty for no reason because she died and she had kids and stuff in Belgium and all this. Anyway, what was your question?
Oh, I forgot, but
I'll cut that out.
No, you're good. You're good. Yeah, no, we're getting to really good conversation. The dog. Yeah. Back to the dog. Yeah.
So when he was recovering, I remember my dad telling me that. He was like, like Bonnie was our dog's name, rest in peace, also lived to like 18 years old. And he or she had like so many lives because she like was ran over by a car in Belgium And from the drive from Oklahoma to Texas, my mom's family lived in Texas. She jumped out of the back of my dad's truck, going like 75 miles an hour on the freeway, lived. All these, drowned in the pool in Florida, like all these like near-death experiences lived. But that dog, Bonnie, knew my dad was down and out and was always there to comfort him when he was dealing with the death of his wife, So they know.
Yeah, that's what I believe that as well. Like, dogs, it's funny you mentioned as well. Like, one thing too with my dog is like her date of birth was September 29th, and she passed away September 21st. And I was hoping to keep her around. She can hold out to the 29th. Like, like thinking that, she was born this day, she can pass away that day. And it's funny, her body wasn't, like, they didn't cremate her until exactly 09/29.
Really?
Yeah, and I freaked out looking at it. I had to, like, look at it twice. I had somebody read. I was like, what does the date say? Like, it says she was cremated 09/29. And I was like, that's how, that really freaked me out, too. I was like, what? It's like something, like I said, like, something must have knew, like, I don't know what it was. I didn't even tell nobody that I wanted that to happen, and it just happened. So I look at it like, that's why I believe, too, like, my dog is like, oh, she held out because she knew, like, you're going to be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely, man. I mean, what do you think about, like, numerology and stuff? Do you have any experience in that?
Maybe that's just my only moment probably with, like, the whole number thing. But my best friend believes in that number stuff as well. Like,
yeah.
He says that, I forgot what number I am, but he's like, oh, you're a jester in his life. And then his number leads to him being a king. And I was like, he was talking to me about it. I was like, what are you saying, bro? I was like, my best friend's name is Matt. I was like, Matt, what are you talking about, dude? Like, what are you saying? He's like, dude, you're the jester. I'm the king. But he's like, but he said there was a funny quote. I posted on my Instagram. If you guys check it out, you guys will see it. But anyways, I posted a quote. It was like, the king, it was like the Chad may like Mog and stuff, but it's something about like the king is gonna be like.
I saw that.
Yeah, you seen that, right? The king is gonna like with the jester.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the king will go to watch the jester. Yeah.
Yeah, even the king listens to the jester, and I was like, and he was trying to explain that to me. He's like, well, even though like he's trying to say to me basically, well, even though you're a dumbass, and he's like, I'm smarter than you, but I still listen to you because he's like, you are pretty funny. So it's I do believe in that. Like the whole number thing does kind of align a little bit. I'm not like crazy, I'm not crazy like major believing, but whatever he said, I was like, I never thought of it like that either. I guess his number does make him a king and I'm a jester. So I was like, all right.
That's interesting, bro. Yeah, I've had. What about like 3 a.m.? Have you ever woken up at 3 a.m.?
Dude, I had that at the motel job all the time. I was just always like, it was always like weird numbers, dude. Like things will go on always repeatedly at the same time. Like 2 in the morning, it was just always somebody coming at 2 in the morning exactly. Strike when it hits 2 is always somebody coming. But those people, I always have to turn away because at that time, like we had a policy where it's like, once it's 2 a.m., you can't take them. But I felt like there was like a test because that was happening for 6 months straight, where it's just 2 a.m. Exactly, somebody would come try to get a room, a random person. But I do believe that was like some type of demon or something trying to like access, like trying to get inside.
Damn.
Yeah.
What do you think about demons, bro? Have you experienced any outside of that?
Like demons, dude, definitely. Like, especially at the motel job, is like, because you see lots of walks of life walking in there. But I mean, if you're getting a motel and it's late at night, like, there's either like I've seen people like cheat on their wives cheat on their husbands. I've seen pimps, prostitutes, drug dealers. I've seen drug users. I've seen people who are just like come in and out, and you can just tell like they're just there to commit sin in that motel.
Gosh, yeah.
I've seen a lot of it. And I could see it. You could look into someone's eye and you could tell, or just the feeling when you're around somebody. I always have those feelings when I'm around somebody. The energy, I'm like, shit, dude. Like, you're here to commit sin, and I'm just gonna check you in, man. You gotta do what you gotta do. Like, it's not my place, so I can't reject you and tell you not to come here. But it's like, you're here to just commit sin, dude. Like,
yeah.
And I always hear about it later. The maid's like, oh, there was a bunch of drugs in the room, or oh, there was a prostitute that was passed out in the room. It's like, or like I'll see it too. Like the wives or the husbands will come like an hour later, catch them cheating in the room. Like, they're just here to commit sin.
gosh.
I would see that a lot. I remember I had an experience too. There was this really sweet couple that would come in, and they were drug users. And they would always ask me, hey, Will, you want anything from 7-Eleven? Do you want anything? I'm like, nah, I'm good, man. And the one time I said yes, I was like, yeah, give me a Coke. The one time I said yes. The guy brought me a Coke, and he's like, all right, man, we'll see you on the way out later on, right? They go in the room. 15 minutes later, I hear sirens. I'm like, it's a ball, but I'm like, yeah, it's whatever. They pull into the parking lot, and then another 10 minutes go by. They pull the guy out, and the girlfriend's screaming for help. And they had him in the gurney with a blanket over him, and he died.
Damn.
Overdosed.
That's crazy, dude.
Yeah. The one time I said yes. The one time I said, man, give me a Coke, why not? Because you keep bugging me. Why not? I'll get a Coke, man. I'll be nice about it. One time I said yeah. Dies.
Gosh.
25 minutes later after that.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, I had some weird experiences. I never was into numerology at all or, astrology or any of that stuff. I was just like, oh, that's just random nonsense coincidence.
Yeah.
But then I had some odd experiences, bro. My grandfather died, the man that taught me to teach the guitar. So we go to Texas to go to his funeral. And my mother and my sister don't get along. Or at the time, they didn't get along. They were having a lot of issues getting along. And my mother's there. My mother used to live in Dubai. She was working in Dubai. My sister was living with my father in Florida. This was after I moved to Los Angeles. And anyway, my sister is there in the living room when my mom goes to bed because they were arguing or whatever. And she's in my grandfather's chair. My grandfather, he had this big table, long table that we'd all eat dinner at after my parents divorced. Me and my cousins would all go and sit at this table and eat. Grandmother, rest in peace, would cook for us. She's actually the one that got me into ghost hunting and the supernatural. She used to show me photos. I'll tell you a story later about the Virgin Mary that completely changed my life, that I got the date tattooed on my shoulder. That was the first divine intervention to Catholicism, but she was crying in the chair that my grandfather used to always sit in. Crying, and I woke up and I was just like, are you okay? My sister's name's Vienna. I was like, you okay, Vienna? Are you okay? And she's like, yeah, just go to bed, Jake. I'm fine. Just go to bed. I go to bed and then I wake up to her voice calling my name. Help, help, help. Her voice. How when you're dreaming or sleeping and you wake up to someone waking you up. Yeah. It was one of those moments where I woke up to her voice calling my name for help, 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 in her voice. And I wake up, I'm like, Vienna, what's wrong? What's wrong? And I'm sleeping in the living room because all the bedrooms are taken. I'm sleeping at my grandma's house, so I don't have to get a hotel. I'm sleeping on the couch in the living room. Mm-hmm. And no one's there. Everyone's asleep. And I'm just like, Vienna? And I go to the living room. She's not in there. She's sharing the bed with my mom. They're sleeping on the same bed, sharing the bed to go to sleep. Because after she got done crying, she went back in there. And I'm like, what the fuck was that? Who was just calling my name in my sister's voice? It was very vivid. Yeah. It wasn't like a dream. It was like someone woke me up from my dream in her voice. And then I look at my phone, and it's exactly 3:33 a.m. And I was just like, whatever, but it was just odd because the night prior, my grandmother told me that after my grandfather died, again, the same grandmother that got me into Catholicism and got me into ghost hunting and stuff, she used to show me Polaroids of ghost apparitions and photos and the Virgin Mary appearing in photos. Yeah. And I was just like, wow. She told me that she kept having these dreams that Grandpa would visit her in her dreams, and she just remembers counting in threes in the dreams, him walking up and down the stairs 1, 2, 3, back down, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So in threes. Yeah. And she's she thinks it has some correlation with the Holy Trinity, the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. So it was really weird because she told me that. Yeah. Sister's crying, goes to bed. I'm already asleep. I wake up to her voice calling my name, and something called me to look at the clock, and it was exactly 3:33. And then it got weirder because then every night after that, I would wake up to someone's voice calling my name for help at exactly 3:33 a.m. It was exactly 3:30. Like I'd wake up in like a paranormal fright, and I'd like, it must be 3:33 a.m. Look at the phone, 3:33 a.m. I was like, this is weird. Why is this happening? Talked to my aunt about it, and she's like, yeah, that used to happen to me when I was studying for my PhD. She's got a PhD. She's like, when I was studying for my PhD, I was so stressed out, and for some reason I would wake up at exactly 3:33 a.m. So I think she chopped it up to being like some sort of like divine intervention from our angels, you know. So I think for me, I kind of took the message as like, I need to watch over my sister because my mother and her were having tribulations, and you know, I've always tried to be like a compassionate sibling, and be there for them, my brother and sister, when, you know, they weren't getting along with my parents. So it was just odd, and it kept happening, and then it even got freaky. I was like, is this like, it just kept happening so much. I was like, is this like some people's theory online on like Reddit was like, oh, these are demons.
Oh, Reddit's the crazy. Reddit's the worst, dude. Like well, it's not the worst, but you can see like people give all answers on all types of crap on Reddit, especially like the paranormal. Because I also look at answers on Reddit. I'm like, what happened here? And then like 8 other people can relate. I'm like, man, I don't know, but it is where the connection thing is. It is freaky. It is,
dude. And then I also had some where it was like, I kept seeing 666 everywhere. And it was basically ever since I moved to LA to be an actor. So I used to think like, oh, that's the devil trying to get me to sell my soul. You know, I'm like a young, good-looking dude, like good actor. Like maybe the final piece of the puzzle is me selling my soul. Like all these people, you know, chop up to being the last piece of success. And I was always like, no, of course not. I'm not going to sell my soul. And I don't know if it was that, because also there were other theories online that's like, oh, no, those are angel numbers. Those are your angels letting you know that you're doing something you shouldn't be doing, and you should stop.
That's what 666 is?
That's what some people say.
I've heard about that, too. That's what I say, yeah.
But I kept seeing it, dude, so much that, like, I literally would, like, take screenshots or take photos every single day. I have a friend, Nick Wade, who I met in high school, a musician, great, one of my best friends in the world, and shout out Nick Wade. And I would like, I could only talk to so many people about this without them thinking I'm nuts. So like talk to him about it and send him photos as proof every single day. I was like, dude, in case something happens to me, I want you to know, one person know, I keep seeing this number every day, and I don't know why, you know. So I repent to Jesus every night. You know, I don't know what it is, but it was just like, maybe it's demons messing with me, maybe it's angels, I don't know. Maybe it's the fallen angels, the demons. I don't know, but it was weird, dude.
Yeah, I've had connections like that, man. I had a connection. I've had a lot of, because my sister and I, we're not super close to each other. But I do love my sister, but we're not like, hey, every day. We don't talk all the time. We still live together, but we don't see eye to eye all the time, and we don't always talk. But it's always those times where it's funny, where I had plans and it suddenly got canceled, but then a second later she came to mind, and then she calls me. She needs help.
Damn.
So it's always been like that. So I've had that because my sister, she had a car accident a couple years ago, and her car flipped over, and she was on the 405, like, in oncoming traffic was coming towards her, and her friend was driving, and when they got there, because I remember it was weird because I had something tell me like, because something told me to call my mom first and see like, hey, like, how's my sister's name is Aaliyah. I was like, how's Aaliyah doing? Is she okay? And mom's frantic, crying. She's like, what do you mean? Like, how'd you find out? I'm like, what do you mean? What's going on? She's like, she's had a fucked up car accident on the freeway. And I was like, something told me to like call.
Damn.
It's like a weird connection thing. And it's on top of that, it's weird too because I had neck pain that morning. And it's funny because later on when they would see her at the hospital, they said when they arrived, the first responders arrived on scene, they said that she was this close to being decapitated. And I kind of connected. I'm like, wait, I had neck pain this morning. My plans got canceled this night, and I called my mom right away, and I'm like, she was frantic crying. So it's like, I'm like, like crap, something bigger was supposed to happen, but it didn't happen. So I thought about telling, like, if I just avoid it and said, let's make my plans continue to happen, I believe that my sibling would have passed that night.
Oh, so she lived.
She lived. My sister lived. Yeah, she ended up living. I know it sound like I didn't mean like make it sound like she died or nothing, but like she did end up living. But I kind of look at it like if I continue to do my plans, or it's funny because if you go against something, like if something tells you like your gut feeling like like don't do it, don't do it,
Right.
don't do it. I've had it where I've gone against my gut feeling and things gone to crap, and I'm like,
Same, bro.
yeah, so you believe in that too as well, right? Like
Yeah.
believe in your gut. Like
Yeah.
I believe in my gut all the time. Like something tells me, I'm like, don't do it. I'm not gonna do it. No, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Yeah.
What do you think about dreams in connection to the spirit world? Do you have any beliefs on that?
Dude, I have a lot of deja vu. I get a lot of deja vu, a lot of dreams. I do see. I do feel like I feel like I've been in this room with you. I feel like I've met you before.
Me?
Yeah, I feel like I have met you before.
I just got the weirdest chills, bro. Holy shit.
Yeah, I've met you before. I met you before.
That's so weird because I literally have deja vu on my list to ask you about.
Yeah.
That's so weird.
I met you before. I've met your girlfriend before. I've told you, man. I see a lot of my dreams, man. And I have a lot of deja vu. I'll be in rooms sometimes.
I'm like the craziest chills right now. I'm sorry to cut you off. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Go continue. Oh my god.
I've had it, man. I have a lot of experience. Like, this is it, and I always have this. And it's a weird thing that I have right now. That's like, I'm not there yet, but I'm prepared for it. I don't know what it is yet. I haven't painted the picture, but when I turn 25, something tells me I retire at 25.
Damn.
I'm 24 right now.
Damn.
So I turn 25 in February next year, 18th. So I look at it like, when I say I'm gonna, something keeps telling me I'm gonna retire, and it keeps painting this picture that like I'm gonna be, like, never have to work again in my life. I don't know if it means death for me at 25 or if it means like, I made it so high, like a success, like in comedy or business or something, where I'm like, I don't have to work again.
I think for me, that's what I'm hearing is that you are going to make it so big in comedy. That's going to be your full-time thing.
Yeah.
And it's never going to feel like a day of work in your life again because you're going to be doing what you love. I know you already are.
Yeah.
But it's going to get to that level.
Yeah, because some people tell me 25, the number 25. The age of 25, something's going to happen for you.
Damn.
Like, it keeps happening. Like I said, I feel like I've met you. I've met her. Like, I'm having these, like, vivid things. Like, I've met people. Like, I've met Danny before. I've met Leo.
Damn.
Like, I have all these things. I'm like, dude, I've met people before. Like that's why I'm so comfortable with everybody around me now. Because, like, I've had this conversation. I've talked to you before. I don't know when, but it's something I've talked to you.
Dude, that's crazy, man. That's I literally just
I saw the chills too you have for a second.
Oh my gosh, dude. It's people call them universal winks from the other side, you know, where it's just things connect and you know it's divine. Mm-hmm. It's like, you know, I'm indifferent, but it's so weird because Charlie Kirk, man, you know, him getting assassinated. Yeah. And, you know, I don't care what anyone believes. Anyone getting assassinated for their beliefs is horrible. And it's so crazy because Candace Owens, and I don't watch her at all, but this came up because I watch supernatural things. Mm-hmm. She said that, like, the months up to his death, he was texting her, telling her that he kept having dreams every night that he was going to be killed. He kept having dreams every single night.
Chills right now. He's got chills.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I got massive chills right now. Yeah.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
And then he gets assassinated. Like, something was warning him, you're going to get killed. And he got killed. It's crazy, bro. It's crazy.
It's scary, dude. Like, I look at it too. I'm like, that's why, like I said, deja vu is a real thing. Like, yeah, I have it all the time, man. I'm like, dude, like, crap. But that's also too, like, I learned to work with it as well. I'm like, whatever happens, happens, because I already know what's gonna happen.
Do you have a theory on, like, what exactly it is?
At the age of 25?
No, like deja vu.
What it is? I have a theory that I feel like back to the angels thing. Like, something is, like, guiding you. Like, something is giving you like like trailers for movies. Something's giving you, like, spiritually, like, a trailer to your life, especially when you sleep or when you close your eyes or you let your mind rest for a second. So there is some type of data that's being transferred right into you. Like, and either a family member or somebody's telling you, like, keep going, or they're trying to look out for you. I do believe in that. I do believe in that. That's what's currently happening for me right now. somebody's telling me, because like I said, I used to be suicidal a lot. Like I swear, I want to go against Christ. I was like, God, I used to like, like say God and all these like effed up things and just something. But something kept telling me, it's like, fuck it, just keep going, fuck it, don't do it yet, just keep going. Something kept telling me, just keep going, because I would have all these days, like, and I kept going, and now I'm here.
Gosh,
I haven't given up yet, and I'm not planning to give up anytime soon.
Don't ever, bro.
I'm not. I don't ever want to give up, and I haven't had a thought. And in the moment, like I said back in September, when I was like, back to what I was saying, like when everything was just falling apart and everything was just like going, like you could think like you're losing everything. It's like, keep going.
Yeah,
I thought that would be my decidal moment in my life, but I was like, there's more than like, making tacos and, I mean, there's more to doing all that in life. There's just like a whole life ahead of you. And so that's why I do like believing like you have to keep going.
Yeah, beautiful,
you can't give up.
man. Sorry you went through that, dude. And I'm glad you're still here because, I mean, for so many reasons. But I firmly believe, based on the research that I've done and based on the experiences that I've had, the research was followed up by the experiences that I had because it was so recurring, that the spirits that side get stuck in purgatory, bro.
Yeah.
They don't end the pain.
That's what I heard of. Like, they just get stuck in, like, whatever room you did it at, you're stuck there.
That's crazy, man. It's like, cause I would look up, like, why is this place haunted? How is this possible? If there's a God, why are these spirits here? And that's what God said, is they get stuck in purgatory. They like, I talked to the Exorcist about it. It's like, if you've been in a place like that, you get stuck in there because it wasn't, God has mercy, but you're not in a heavenly state to enter his kingdom yet.
Yeah.
So that's why anytime I do these ghost hunting sessions off camera afterwards, so I don't get too political or religious on the video, so I, don't rule anybody out. And maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't, but that's just how I started. I pray for them. And I'm like, I pray for them. I'm like, and I tell them off camera, like, repent for your sins, go to the light, because that's what you need to do. You're stuck here and you need to go to the light and you need to repent for your sins to become, it's that simple.
Yeah.
To become clean. Repent for your sins and go to the light is what I believe and what I've heard and what I've experienced.
Yeah.
I don't know for a fact, but that's what I've experienced and believe. But the dream world is a crazy world, man. I've had two people in my life do me really wrong, and they're both dead now.
It's funny. I had people do me wrong too, and it's funny they're suffering right now. I had that at not my recent job, but when I used to work at El Pollo Loco, I worked at this one location. I was getting treated like crap every day. Every day I was getting treated like crap, and I was like, all right. And then just like you said, like, they're not dead, those people, but their world started to fall apart. And I was still stuck in the same restaurant, but my world started to go up a little bit more, but it wasn't perfect yet. But their world started to fall apart.
Man.
But I also knew, too, something was telling me, like, you just got to, like, quit this job, man, and go do something else because there's no respect here for you no more. But something took on those people, and they got either God or something got revenge for me, and those people all got taken out one by one. Lost their job, they had to move away, lost family. Something started hitting them one by one by one by one. And it's the same thing with my life, too. It's like there's people around me who are they're not dying, but there's like their life just turns fucked up and turns upside down.
Yeah, I mean, I think about that, like I told you with your aura and your, like, you're very obviously a good guy. Yeah. Even in your funny comedy moments, you could tell right away in someone's aura and, like, their energy, and it doesn't even matter what you say. It's like, I just know. And so for somebody to be mistreating you consistently, they're on a dark, negative path.
Exactly.
Demonic, negative path of some sort, whether it's demonic obsession, possession, whatever. They're on a bad path. The person the two people that wronged me, they're both dead, and one of them I talked about before. She cursed me. My cars and everything. I talked about on the Danny Mullen on my podcast with Danny Mullen. The other person who was actually with me when we witnessed her, the other girl that died, when we witnessed her, the one that put the curse on me, doing the Santeria, the one that was walking with me, at the time he was my friend, and he witnessed her too, and he's now dead of a drug overdose. And I don't do drugs. I don't mess around with drugs or whatever, but I'm surrounded by artists and all this. So that's very prevalent in the scene as an actor and a musician and all this. And he's now dead from the drug overdose. But anyways, he did me so wrong that I contemplated doing serious harm to him that may be fatal. You know, like it was that I was that angry that I was like, because I found out I wasn't the only one that he did it to, and it was a repetitive thing. And I don't want to go into detail out of respect for him. I believe in forgiveness and mercy, and he's dead. But he did me so wrong that I really was so angry. I'm not going to go to prison for this dude, but I understand why people do. Like, this, my anger is real. How dare he? How dare he? And you know, I was like, all right, I got to stop thinking about this guy. He did me so wrong. I don't want to go to prison for something that someone else did to me as a reaction, you know, so let me just forget about this dude. 2 years later, stop thinking about him, everything. 2 years later, I had a very vivid dream about him one night. And in the dream, he came to me and was apologizing to me for what he did. Really, I'm getting crazy chills. He was apologizing to me. And in the dream, I'm like telling him, man, I could bury you in the court of law. Like, I've got 3 other people that I know that you also did this to. I'm telling him this in the dream. And I'm like, but I'm not going to, because I know you also have a good side. I've seen your good side. And I believe in forgiveness and mercy. But let this be your warning. But he was just apologizing to me. I'm sorry. And I forgave him in that dream. And then I wake up that morning. And like most of us do when we wake up, I check social media as I'm in my bed waking up. I see that night that he came to me in my dream was the night that he died.
Wow.
So when he died, he came to me for forgiveness.
And you think he saw the light after that? Do you believe it?
I hope so.
You hope so at the end of the day? Yeah.
I believe in forgiveness, man. I hope so.
I'm the same way. I believe in forgiveness. Because if you don't forgive, man, like, you could do me the most wrong way. You know what? It'll take me a second, but I'll forgive you. And I hope you continue doing good, and I hope things go well for you. But I do believe that you have to forgive. Forgive, because once you forgive and forget.
Absolutely.
And you just keep going. Because I'm the same way. Like, you have to forgive. And it's happened a lot to me. Or it's like, I have to forgive all these people. I'm like, even those people, like I said, back at Boy Loco, that did me wrong, I'm like, I forgive you guys. I don't, like I said, somebody took care of you, the universe, somebody took care of you because you were trying to cause harm towards me, and I didn't mean harm towards you. And I forgive and I forget, and I hope they're alive and thriving and doing good, because that's all you can hope for at the end of the day.
Yeah, life's too short, man. Right? Yeah. And like, everyone makes mistakes, and some are are clear indicators of bad people, bad spirits, bad things. It's too much.
Do you believe that sex is the portal to hell? I've heard of the saying, like, it can lead to demons coming out. Do you believe in that?
I believe it can. And I believe that it can be very, it could turn very demonic, you know, because our brains were created by God, I believe, in some way, and our brains. I've studied dopamine. Yeah. People get into these weird, crazy kinks. Why?
It's so crazy, though.
It gets crazy, man. You know, you get the post-nut clarity. Yeah. You're like, what the fuck am I doing? Exactly. You know, in certain situations, if you go that route. And we've all been there as men. Mm-hmm. You know, it's natural because you don't get to that road at first knowing it's going to get there. Yeah. You get there following, and that's what's so bad about it. It's in our natural biology. It's in our natural biology to be sexual, to procreate. Yeah. But that sexuality, when it's then turned to and there's so many conspiracy theories around this, who knows what's real and what's fake, but like, you know, you look at the iPhone's logo, it's the apple with a bite out of it, the forbidden apple, the forbidden fruit. You take a bite out of the forbidden fruit. So some people believe that that's like the, you know, the evil eye, or the 666, the antichrist, the iPhone. But I don't necessarily prescribe to that, because I'm like, it could be used for good or evil. It depends on the individual. But it can lead innocent people down a dark path. Yeah. And then they realize that they're on that path, and maybe they're stuck in addiction to it, you know, and then they're like, oh, fuck, I got to get out of this, you know. And and you know, God bless the people that do or don't, and hopefully they do, but we've all been there. So I do believe that, yes, it can be. I believe that, you know, that like Jesus said, be fruitful and multiply.
Yeah.
You know, God said, be fruitful and multiply. So we're supposed to mate. We're supposed to procreate. We're supposed to make love. Love is a beautiful thing and a proof of God, you know, but it's like, it can turn dark. You know, fornication, you know, when you're just out, like back in my bachelor days, sleeping around.
Yeah.
You know, some people say trying to fill the void. I don't necessarily feel like I was ever trying to fill a void. I was just, you know, like maybe filling my ego, you know, going from a guy that was like, just like, you know, a guy that girls always liked, but like not like, you know, I like compare myself to other friends of mine that were like college athletes or something, you know, and then I would just be like, oh, maybe I should, you know, and then until you get to that point that I got to, you realize it's like, dude, this is pointless, man. Like, so what? I can go to a bar and get laid, you know, so what? Like, I became good looking. I started working out. I started, you know, whatever, like watching what I eat or, you know, practicing my conversation skills, talking to girls, you know, understanding their psychology, all of this. Like, but once you get there, it's just like, you know, I used to wonder, like, why do celebrities get married, bro? Like, why is Chris Hemsworth married?
Yeah.
Tall, good-looking dude, like, could have any girl he wants. What the hell are you thinking, bro? Live the rock star lifestyle. Now I understand. It's just like, bro, like, it's not all it's cracked out to be, you know? Like, once you reach that level where it's not, like, a difficulty, it's not, like, it's not that difficult to go out and get laid or whatever every night. It's like, that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
I'd rather have someone that I actually loves me and I love and I have a connection with and I could like spend the rest of my life with, and you know, because that's rare, that's special.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, and it does lead to the way our brain is wired. Those dopamine receptors can lead to a very dark addiction.
Yeah. For like you mentioned, like you're comparing stuff to your friends and the college athlete. Comparison's a thief of joy.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Comparison's a thief of joy at the end of the day. Because if you keep comparing, and then you keep forgetting why you're even comparing, you're going to get too sucked in. And then they're like, what am I doing?
Exactly, bro.
Yeah.
I agree with you 100%, man. So I do agree it can be. And you know, my thoughts are on marriage are very, you know, yin and yang. But I do believe that if you do marry in your eyes and in your partner's eyes, under the eyes of God, that is divine and something special if you devote it to that. But I also believe that so many, you know, that I'm not gonna say, oh, I believe in marriage and everyone should get married. I believe I should if I find someone, you know, that like, and like I said, I love my partner and she's, you know, if I'm gonna get married, it's gonna be to her. You know, so it's like, it's a beautiful divine thing, and I've never had this before in my life. Yeah. I didn't believe it was possible, you know, based on like my past experience and the girls that I've met and all this. But yes, it can lead down a very dark path.
You know, I'm the opposite because I gave up. Like, I was in a relationship for about 2 years with my ex, and then, like I said, right around the time when September came around and we gave like relationship ended. I wanted it to end already because it's like at the time I was 23. I'm 24 now. It's like I have so much to do and there's so much for me to live. But she was older. She's about 27, and so she had years on me, and then she had like all her things, and I'm like, you gotta let it go. You gotta let go some things like that because I had to let it go because and I'm not even doing anything right now. Like I'm not even looking for a relationship. I'm not looking for no pussy right now. I'm not looking for nothing right now. I'm just like focusing on comedy. And just being myself. I'm not focused on like I said, like getting like all that because it's like it can block you. It would. I'm opposite. I believe that it will block me if I pursue it. But my ex too is like she was always angry. She was always angry and upset about something. Always angry. And then I know the girl I was with before that was always angry and greedy. Always something. She always needed something. And then the girl before that. Same thing. She was just evil, like wanted to just like do fucked up things. And I'm like, yeah, I can't do this relationship thing because it's like, I believe in too the energy at the end of the day that you put your energy with somebody, And if they don't have the right intent in mind and good things, and like they're always upset and always something, it will affect you. And I believe that's what affected me for so long. Yeah. In my lifetime, I believe that's energy. That's what anybody's like. You know, like you said, I have good aura, and I'm here to have a good time, good energy. But if I feel somebody or I feel something, I call out right away. And I'm like, I don't fuck with it. Nope, I'm good.
Good.
Bad energy. I call it out right away. 'Cause a lot of people don't like to call it out. I have to call it out. I'm like, fuck that. And I tell my friends, like, fuck that guy, dude. Like, my best friend, he's had a lot of shitty roommates, and I call him out. And he's like, oh, well, you're just talking shit. You're talking too much. He's like, you're fucking crazy. He's like, it's funny, but you're talking too much. I'm telling you, Matt. I'm telling you. You have shitty roommates, and you continue to get shitty roommates. Because every time I meet somebody that he's about to bring into his house, I'm like, dude, this is your dome. This is your piece, bro. And you're bringing somebody like that. I'm like, I'm telling you right now. He's like, but you barely know them. I'm like, I'm telling you, dude. They're not good roommates. And then 3 months later, can't pay rent. They always cause problems in the house. Oh, and then they bring whatever the outside they had with them, they bring it inside now. And I told him, like, dude, you're continue doing it. Like, but at the same time, too, you can only tell somebody so much.
Yeah.
Until you hope they listen. But
yeah.
What can you do?
No, that's good, though, that you have that wisdom, because, like, as a good person, you have to stay away from those people. It's like being a good person isn't being loving to everybody. It isn't being nice to everybody or being enabling to everybody and enabling them into your life. That's not a good person. Yeah. That like, it's like Jesus said, I didn't come to unite. Yeah. I came to divide with a sword between good and evil.
Exactly.
And the Crusaders held on to that one. But but yeah, man, it's true, man. You don't want to be around that evil, man. Yeah. And people can think what they want outside of our belief system or my belief system or your belief system, because maybe they're not exactly the same, which is good, because it means we think for ourselves. But it's like, yeah, if you get it, you get it. You know what I mean? Like, if you're nice to everybody, like, it doesn't make you a good person. If you're mean to certain people, it doesn't make you a bad person. It's like, I just don't want you around me, bro. Yeah. You're bad.
Exactly. You're bad energy, man. You're bad juju, man. You gotta go. You gotta get away. And this is I tell everybody, man. I believe in, like, if I see bad energy, it's like, I don't believe that the person's horrible, but I just know their energy in the moment's bad. But also, too, I've encountered people who I'm like, you're a demon, dude. Because as well, when I was working at that motel, the assistant manager, he was, like, you were saying about porn, he was a porn director and a porn actress. So he was a porn, like, performer, and he had, like, terabytes, actually, of, like, porn, nonstop porn on his laptop.
Really?
Yeah.
He downloaded it?
Downloaded, yeah. He loved porn.
I don't understand that.
He filmed porn. He was, like, what I heard about him, and I found out later on it was true, that he would, like, lure girls in, because he would work the daytime. And, like, oh, how you doing, this and that. And, like, he tries to get to know them. You already went through trauma, whatever. That's why you'll get a motel room, first of all. So he will lure them in, and he would just, like, somewhat semi-flirt with them, but not flirt with them, and then try to make it professional. And the stories end up being true later on. I heard that. I guess he would, like, get them to do, like, he was a photographer. You heard, like, the LA thing, like, photographers. Oh, I'm a photographer. I'll take care of you. And then they go and sexually harass the person taking a photo. That's what he did.
Damn.
But he would try to get them, oh, you look so good. He's like, oh, I'm helping this lingerie brand. And then he would, like, and then I remember he tried doing some shit with me because he added me on Snapchat one day and he pulled out his cock on his story.
What?
Yeah, and I'm not gay or nothing. I'm not against gay people. That thing was, like, fucking huge, bro. And I was like, Jesus Christ. Like, so he will use that as a weapon towards the women in the room he would take photography with. And he's like, oh, you look so good if you did this and do that. Yeah.
Gosh.
And he had, like, multiple lawsuits open against him.
Really?
A lot of them, yeah, went after him. Because I guess he had them sign NDAs and all this thing. And he's like, oh, I did everything properly. Like, I didn't rape you. I didn't do nothing. I did everything properly. That's what I found out later on, that he did all that.
Gosh. So what were the lawsuits claiming?
Claiming that this guy tricked me. He got into my pants. Even if they were trying to open cases with the police are like looking at it like, shit, we can't, like, shit, he had everything, because he would talk about, he was getting tested, so he would get tested, he'll make them get tested, so that's all documented.
Oh, I see, okay, so they would, like, okay, I understand.
Yeah.
Okay.
I hope he's good, whatever happened to him, but that guy was weird, man.
Something shady was going on.
Yeah, shady shit was going on with that guy, and then And then it was funny because there was only female workers there because I could see he's the hiring manager. He's the assistant manager. He would hire everybody, and it was just funny. He would only hire only females.
Gosh.
All the time. I was the only one that made it through because he couldn't make it in to make the interview for me. So the general manager interviewed me to give me the job.
That's the worst, dude. Like someone that's like working in a position of power in an employment sector, using that,
You're
it's
a demon
like
to me. I think there's something demonic with you if you're gonna, especially with like has to do with like getting in someone's pants or something. That's demonic to me. That's like you know what you're doing. You're clear of your actions. That's demonic to me. That's like you have something that's not right with you, bro.
The thing is it's so hard to tell because it's just like, like Catholic priests and exorcists preach about like, generational sin, where like they might not even know why they're like that. It might literally be from their ancestors. Like there's cases of people, like I listened to a lot of podcasts with exorcists, and there's cases of people that were literally like abused as a child, and they have no idea until after the fact when they realize they're possessed, and the exorcist is just doing investigations, and they were like literally like it could be an example like their grandfather gave them his granddaughter to the devil, saying, I'm going to do a sexual act upon her, and this is going to be my sacrifice to you, Satan, and she's going to have no idea. But then her whole life she's angry and she has no idea why, and she's just always angry. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so that's why I'm always just like, I always just lean on the side of forgiveness and mercy, but at the same time, don't let those people abuse you.
Yeah, I question that too because when I was younger, it's like at the age of 7, I was like, why do I have these thoughts? I want to kill myself. Like, why am I like? And I'll look at it, I'm like, why? And I remember too, as well as like I was in like smaller classrooms, like special need classrooms, not like the wheelchair type, but like, oh, he's like slower, but he needs help. But I didn't say my first word until I was like the age of 5. I didn't speak till the age of 5, so they thought I was like a mute. Even coming out the womb, my mom had a C-section, so coming out, my mom said that she's like, you didn't cry at all. That's what was concerning. You didn't have tears coming out crying when you came out. She's like, we thought you were dead or something when you came out.
Really?
Yeah, they thought I was dead, and I was like, I'm hearing all these things. I'm like, what do you mean I was dead? I was like, I'm fine now. They're like, yeah, but it was weird because the doctor had to slap you around a little bit to get some tears going from you, but you were just mute the whole time coming out.
Oh my goodness.
And I didn't know what was going on. I'm like, I can't piece it together because I can't think of anything in my family. Like, of anybody that's like, no one in my family is rich, so I can't think of any sacrifice. Because I thought about the sacrifice thing. I can't think of anybody sacrificing. I'm like, I don't see that happening, or no one's rich in my family. No one's a celebrity status in my family. I'm like, I don't know, but I do believe what you said though too. Like, I do believe in that. It's like, like somebody sacrificing your family before generations, like the curse of generations going down.
Yeah, and it could be literally like, according to The Exorcist, it could be something as simple as like a certain sin, a certain sin, and that's just like passed down genetically, and and until you know what it is, because the demons and the spiritual world is so judicial.
You mentioned that. It's funny because my grandfather, well, he died of alcoholism. So he died of alcohol. So I'm kind of connecting the dots a little bit right now. I'm like, because also as well, like, I wear glasses. I have contacts in, but I have poor vision. No one else has poor vision in my family but me.
Damn.
And I came out, like I said, like a mute baby until like the age of 5 to start speaking. And I start looking at him like, it makes me think too, like you mentioned, I'm kind of connecting. Like my grandfather was, like I said, like he died of alcoholism. And then my grandmother, she died of cancer. Yeah. They both died in the same year around the time I was born.
Gosh, sorry to hear that, man.
Like about a year before I was born.
Do you? Yeah. Because I had my first memory when I was 3, but it was such a crazy experience. I learned to ride my bike without training wheels when I was 3 years old because my dad wouldn't. We just moved. We were a military family, so we just moved, and like we got into our house in Oklahoma, and I'm like, I want to ride my bike, Dad. I want to ride my bike. My dad's like, he was strict. He's like, not right now, Jake. I'm working on something. He was working on something in the garage, and all my shit was in our boxes, our packed boxes, and my training wheels were still in the box, one of the boxes. And he's like, not right now. I don't have time to go through all the boxes and find your training wheels. So I grabbed my bike, and this kind of led my like mentality the rest of my life. Grabbed my bike and just like was like, fuck it. I'm an impatient dude. So at 3 years old, I remember this, riding down the driveway, just like, screw it, fuck the training wheels. So just literally riding down the driveway and like pedaling away. And my dad was just, he always tells me that was the craziest thing I ever seen. He's like, I don't know how you did that or how you knew to do that, how you learned to like ride a bike like that, just riding away or whatever. But anyways, the point of that was my first memory was at 3 years old, but it was like a crazy experience that I kept reminding about my whole life. I kept being reminded about that. Do you have any memories before you were 5 being mute?
Being mute, bro. I remember stairs. Okay. Going upstairs and downstairs. That's all I remember. And it was my grandparents were landlords of this one apartment building in near Echo Park. So I remember vivid memories of me just stairs, up and downstairs. And I kind of do connect it a little bit to them. Like, shit, man. Like, is my life? Because my last name also too is Escalera. Escalera, if you translate like Escalera, it translates like stairs, staircase.
No way.
Yeah, like ladder. Yeah, so it kind of makes me think like, am I climbing? Is this like you said, like, that's when I was young. Like, that's my first vivid memory was stairs, and then just find out my last name is Escalera. Like, stairs is like, or ladder, or whatever it translates to in Spanish is like, is this where I'm at in life? Am I like gonna be like struggling in life, like climbing, or what's going on right now?
Interesting.
So that's how I kind of connected it together.
So you already had like thoughts of like metaphors.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Always, yeah, that's what I'm saying. And it goes back to my deja vu. I always see things, I'm like, shit, man. Like, I'm living in the moment. Like, things are just happening. Like, I've experienced this. I lived through it, and now I'm here.
What about, like, psychics? Do you have any beliefs on psychics, alleged psychics?
Psychics? I had a girl best friend of mine. I'm somewhat still friends with her to this day. She's very, into that witchcraft, like, psychic thing, and it's like, I don't know. I look into it. I'm like, the whole psychic thing. I'm like, because she would tell me things like, she was always like trying to get me to like, she was always trying to get my attention. Even if I didn't give her my attention, she was always somehow to get my attention. So, like, so the psychic thing's like,
like telepathically?
Yeah, it was just weird. Yeah, with her.
Interesting.
Yeah. Do you believe that there has to? I've heard like theories of McDonald's is like satanic and it's like demons and
the
like
human meat.
Yeah, human meat. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's why we crave. Do you believe in any of that? Like, do you think that's a real thing?
I don't doubt it, bro. I mean, I know there's people out there of all religions, not just one. I know what the audience is thinking. And I'm not, I'm a Catholic, but I don't generalize any group because I know people of all backgrounds, but there are people of all backgrounds that don't care about us and don't care about people other than themselves, truly to the point where they don't care if you die. I mean, look at cigarettes, look at unhealthy food. Do you think they're like, they know they're making billions of dollars and they know that they're hurting people. And yes, there are unexplained sources of meat. Unexplained.
I've heard about that because I thought about something like, dude, how do we keep the demand? Like, especially the whole thing with like, the administration. I know that they cut down on like FDA and all that, so it's definitely got to be easier to be getting all that meat going. Like,
yeah, I hear what you're saying, and I've put a lot of thought into it and a lot of research into it, and actually, it is a fact that there was human meat found in certain companies' meat.
What do you think they get? Where do you think they get the bodies from? Like, obviously you've done the research. Where do you?
I don't remember that part. I think that, to be honest with you, I'm probably going to cut this part out because I don't want to get murked.
Mm-hmm. Oh, no. Yeah, no, I agree. I don't do it, man. Yeah.
But you know what I mean? I was like, hey, number one, I don't know the facts completely.
Mm-hmm.
But number two, people go missing for this kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's scary. And I've heard stories, too, about funeral homes where, like, families will get the cremation back. And it's like, yo, this is not even... You sure? Like, this is a human? I've heard about that.
Damn, really?
I've heard stories like that, yeah.
God.
where people are like, yo, this is not even like, you sure? Like, because like my grandfather was a big dude. He was 6'4", and he got cremated. You sure this is 6'4" worth of like of him, like of human ashes is like in a vase? You sure? And you know what I mean, in funerals, oh yeah, no, definitely. That's an example. That's what I've heard on like I read through Reddit and online and all these people like funeral homes. They like because the whole thing with the McDonald's thing, you know, like the whole human meat. That's how they funnel it through funeral homes and all these things. It's like,
Damn. Well, I'll tell you this. I don't doubt it. I don't know, but I don't doubt it, man.
Yeah.
I don't doubt anything. Like, we lived in a messed up world, and, you know, there's a lot of things that we're coming to learn publicly that are really messed up. Jeffrey Epstein,
yeah.
you know.
Oh, how's that hunt going, by the way? I know you were doing that series. How's that series going? Good?
Which series?
You were doing the. I know you were doing the. You were going through Epstein. You were asking Epstein here because I heard you, first time I met you, you kept asking on the thing. I'm like, crap, dude. Am I gonna hear Jeffrey right now, bro? I'm like, dude. I was like,
Epstein.
You kept yelling Epstein. That's how I remember you, Jake, bro. You were like, Epstein, Epstein. Are you here with us? And then I was just like, my heart dropped. I'm like, oh my god, if I get stuck in that box, dude, I'm like, oh crap. But
Yeah.
I don't know if I asked you. Somebody asked you, like, do you believe he's in hell? I forgot who asked.
I believe that if I gave you the answer that I believe, this would get deplatformed.
Let's not. Yeah.
But I will tell you this. I think most people probably share the same belief that I do, and you probably do too.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of unanswered questions and a lot of things that don't add up about his alleged parting with this world. But I also, the reason why I dove into that was because I am a content creator.
Yeah.
And I knew it would go viral, and it did.
Yeah.
Almost every time. Not every time, but almost every time it would get millions of views. So that's the honest truth. And because I knew, I was like, maybe he is dead.
Yeah.
You know? And the first video that I did that went viral on him, I wasn't asking if he's dead. I wasn't asking if he's in heaven or hell. I asked where he was because I thought he was still alive.
Yeah.
I was like, where is he? And then the spirit said, hell. Wow. And I was just like, oh. And then people were like, no, bro, he's still alive. And that was my thought too. And maybe it kind of still is, maybe. But I'm not going to be definitive on that because none of us know. But then I was just like, well, you know, let's put on our detective hats. Maybe he did fake his death, but maybe because he was such a high-profile guy with so many famous people that he had vulnerable information and evidence on, maybe he survived the jail and left the jail, but then got murked after.
Yeah.
Because when you're that powerful and you have that much information and vulnerable evidence on so many powerful people, you're going to die.
You're going to die. Like you can't
Maybe it's not
it.
that time, but I guarantee you someone's going to, you know what I mean? So that's why I don't do anything in my life. I try not to do anything in my life that is going to cause me to constantly look over my shoulder because it's not worth it, man. Yeah. And then you look at Epstein and it's like, you know, people are like, oh, he was just a bad person. He liked underage girls or whatever. Obviously, that's horrible, but it's actually a lot deeper than that. He literally was worshiping Baal. I wouldn't say openly, but when you look at all the Epstein files, Baal was they had many names. Baal, I can't think of the other names, but they have a lot of names for him, which is a good thing I don't know all the names. Yeah. But this was a god of child sacrifice. So he was literally allegedly sacrificing children as a sacrifice to this demon named Baal. His bank account, you could see in the Epstein files, was named Baal, B-A-A-L. He named his bank account that. All of these children that went missing, it wasn't just sexual. It was like, I am sacrificing this child to the devil for power. And look how much money he had. If you're going to believe that anyone sold their soul for money and power, I'm pretty sure he would be the guy because look how powerful he was, how unknown he was before all this came out, and how much money he had that we even know about. And he was making his money in a secret way.
Yeah, and he had all those high-profile people, and they have a lot of money themselves, so they must have were paying him too. We don't even, like you said, we don't even know.
I don't.
Dude, I never heard about the ball thing.
Yeah, it's real, brother.
Dude, that's freaky, dude.
Yeah.
That's freaky. That's giving me chills right now, dude.
And then when people like look into that,
Yeah.
that's what I'm like. How can you not like? It's just like when I do the ghost hunting and I get all this contact from demons, openly proclaiming to be demons, or openly proclaiming to be stuck in hell or stuck in purgatory. They're literally telling me this. And I understand watching videos nowadays is hard because there's AI and editing and all this. But at least the people that went ghost hunting with me and saw that I'm not adding this in post, saw that this is real.
I was with you, and we were talking to it, and it was just like, even though we were fucking around, and
we still got stuff.
Dude, there was like answers, and I was like,
dude, there was stuff that I got when I was editing it. That was like, what the fuck? Like when Leo.
Yeah.
Sorry, Leo, I haven't talked to you about this, but when Leo grabbed it, there was a male voice immediately that said, "Fuck you." Clear as day in the audio, because our human ears aren't on the same frequency as the electronics. Yeah. So sometimes we don't hear things in real time. But then when I go and this happens every episode I do. There's things that I hear in real time, and there's things that when I'm editing it with headphones on, I'm just like, what the fuck? It scares the fuck out of me.
How do you do that, bro? That would freak me out if I had to sit there and edit a video. It's like, wait, so when Leo picked it up, the voice said, "Fuck you"?
Yeah, right away. What? When he was like asking if he was handsome, before he asked that, as soon as Danny was like, "Here, Leo, ask him whatever," as soon as he grabbed it, like before he spoke, the spirit was like, "Fuck you," like very angrily. Very angrily. It said that to Leo.
Now, when you get those boxers, like when you speak to demons, is those demons like from that like place you're in? Like we were in that like down there in that dam. You think they're from that dam, or do you think they're from like from us? Like we know somebody or something. What do you?
That's a beautiful question that I'm still trying to find the answer to. I don't know. That's one of the questions I don't know, because a lot of people ask that. They're just like, well, you know, I travel sometimes for these videos. Like I'm about to go to Scotland again to see my mother. You know, I'll do some videos there. I didn't do them the first time because at the time I wasn't doing them. Because I took a break because I got attacked by a shadow figure and a demon from some girl that was possessed by a demon. We can talk about that in a minute. Wow. But yeah. So that people ask, like, are they geographically trapped? I don't know. Some people believe, like, you know, even people they claim they don't believe in ghosts, like, oh, I don't believe in ghosts, but I do believe that places can trap energy and they can remember that energy and you can feel the energy. You know, they work their way around it to make themselves sleep at night, but then you bring them on a ghost hunt and they're the most scared one there, you know. But it's like, so the reason why I'm not afraid, to answer your first question, is because I wish I was still afraid. Yeah. Because that's what made it exciting for me, the thrill of the hunt and like the adrenaline, you know. And there are some times that I'm still afraid, and there are certain things that I am still afraid of, like because I was so unafraid that I was like really antagonizing these spirits, and I would apologize after, and I'd let them know, hey, sorry, I'm so sorry, I hope you're okay. Off camera, I was just doing this for the video because I see like Zach Bagans antagonizing them, knowing that antagonizing them would, you know, cause more of a reaction, and I'd apologize after. But in the moment, I was like, no, I want to, like, you know, really raise the stakes or raise the energy, so they use my energy to communicate with me, because that's one of the theories too. But your other question was, are they geographically trapped? I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah.
I have no idea, because it's like, I believe that you can contact not any spirit, but I believe that you can make contact to spirits from anywhere, whether you're at a graveyard or not. Have I had a lot of spirit communication at a graveyard? Yes. But I'm also at a graveyard because I'm filming a YouTube video.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So maybe not. I just don't. The truth is I have no idea. I just know that when I go and I try to talk to them, it works. But it also takes me about 30 minutes to actually start getting answers from them. It takes some time to connect with them. So you have to connect. Like, that's what people say, like, oh, the spirit box works. The communication device that I'm using that uses radio frequencies to allow the spirits to manipulate the audio and speak to us, because I'm getting, you know, direct, clear answers from them. But I don't know, you know, why, but it takes some time to connect with them. But once I do connect with them, it's very clear answers. For instance, like I mentioned in the YouTube video we did, I was like, these answers are so spot on to the questions that I'm answering, the questions that I'm asking. Immediately, they're answering these questions. yes or no questions or specific questions, numbers, how many fingers am I holding up, whatever, what color is my shirt. For instance, when we went, my friend Bo Electra and I went to, she's a real fan of Marilyn Monroe. We went to Marilyn Monroe's gravesite, who's buried alongside Hugh Hefner at a cemetery here in LA by UCLA. And they were answering so many questions, like spot on. So I was like, dude, this has got to be AI or something, bro. Like, this is, I want to know if this is fake. Because this is like, I don't think it is, but this is like so spot on. This must be fake. So then I'm like, well, they can't see us. The cameras aren't pointed towards us on these devices or anything.
Yeah.
So let me, like, you know, test that, see if they can see us. So I'm like, what color is her dress? Right away, it says red. Even the auto captions on TikTok picked up the voice saying red. That's how loud and clear it was. So, and she was wearing a bright red dress. So that's when I was like, they can see us.
So they couldn't see us then.
Yes, they can see us.
Wow.
Yes, they can see. That's why when you feel like you're being watched, you probably are.
You mentioned that. Back to the motel once again, dude. I felt like I was being watched a lot.
Damn.
It was so weird. Like I had like feelings like something was watching me all the time, dude, all the time. Even at some Pollo Locos, I would close like late at night, get off at like 1 in the morning. I felt something watch me, like eyes were stuck on me.
Damn.
Because some of the buildings were old. I'm like, I don't know if anybody really particularly died in those buildings at Pollo Loco, but it's like, the chicken must have been really that good if you died or something. But it's like, I look at it like, I do feel like there's things watching.
Gosh.
Yeah, that's
I mean, a
horrifying.
motel is a dark place, dude. Like you said,
It's bad, bro. No.
it just brings the worst.
I don't like even I'm gonna say hotels are any better either, but you know, motels are like demonic shit goes on in fucking motels. There's suicides.
Drug
there.
overdose.
Yeah, drug overdose, suicides, murders. Like you can feel it too. 'Cause it was weird because in that motel, like the second floor was always like I felt dark energy, weird energy, and I always felt somebody was watching me. And then like I said, the assistant manager was like a freak. So he had cameras on every angle of the building, like everywhere. And you could see, if you sat, like I sat right here and right in front of me would be like a 65-inch like LED TV. And it will show every angle of the building. You watch every camera. And I would just sit there and I would just see like some cameras flicker, some things move. And I'm like, yeah, I'm good. And I remember I had to do night watch. So like I would have to get up every other hour and go like check to see if everybody's good, the parking lot. But it's not fun, dude.
Do you believe in reincarnation?
My best friend, he's Asian, he's Laos, so his dad was Buddhist, and then he was Buddhist at one point, but when his dad was coming to closing, like passing, I don't know what it was, but I think he switched over, like they became like Christians or something. I don't know what it was. I don't know what the whole thing was, but I know, but there's Buddhists in his family, like his cousin, like he knows people that are monks. I met a bunch of monks, like they're very like, and they have like this super power, like they have like insane energy, like what is it called? Crazy, like they be able to hear people, they can feel things in rooms. So I know that, but my best friend does believe that there was a story where his dad at his gravesite, because his dad passed away of cancer a couple years ago, and his dad, I remember right before he was passing that hour, he was asking like, "Oh, can I get a burger?" You know, because he loved burgers from In-N-Out, and he didn't get to fulfill that. And when his sister went to go take a burger to his grave, like about a year later, because she wanted because she knew that he loved burgers, there was a black cat around the grave, roaming around the grave. Yeah, and it's giving me chills now talking about it because she was telling me there was a black cat. I was like protecting the grave, going around it, and then my aunt put the burger there, and the cat second later started eating it up.
That's crazy.
And so I do believe might be. I mean, like I said, I believe in Christ and all, but also too is like I respect religions. I respect everybody for what they believe in. So maybe maybe there is reincarnation there.
Maybe, dude. I don't know. I know that when my stepmom died, my dad was in Belgium, and he said that he kept having experiences like that too with cats, like where he thought it was her or something connected to her. just random animals in the wild, like, and then I've gone to like haunted places, and I've had like a bird one time at a haunted place in Malibu at this burned down house at Solstice Canyon. And the bird just like every time I would talk, it would really loud, like be like, wah, wah, wah. Like it would like scream every time I would talk right above the haunted place. I was like, that's so weird.
Yeah, it was like something warning you.
Yeah, warning me or not liking me or trying to talk to me. I don't know, dude. I don't know, but it was something. It was definitely every time I'd open my mouth, it would yap.
It would try to get you out of there. Like, what are you doing here?
Yeah. It was definitely odd. Do you think children have more of a connection to the paranormal?
I believe so. I do believe that they do. Because I feel like I did have like connections to some type of spirit world when I was younger.
Oh, so did I, dude. Oh my gosh. Like I had so many things happen. Like I told you, or maybe I didn't tell you, I told Danny on the last podcast, the house I lived in Texas that was haunted that got me into this thing. Part of the thing that got me into this thing also happened to be the same time that I was, seeing my grandma every day. They would show me these photos. Yeah. This is a great segue into the next topic. She would show me these photos of like ghost apparitions, and she was a devout Catholic, but she would show me these photos of these ghost apparitions. But that house that I was living in at the time, man, it was very haunted, to the point where like everybody that went to the house experienced things. Everybody that lived in the house after me experienced things. I still have nightmares about this house over 10 years later. I went on Zillow because I was so curious, like what's going on with this house, or if someone lives in it. Because my goal was one day to do a ghost investigation at this house once I'm big enough and have enough money to like, pay them to like, hey, like, I'm so like my show's so famous and whatever. Like I want to like, do a full circle moment of what got me into this, I have these recurring nightmares, but like the family members have had recurring nightmares of this place. I still have recurring nightmares of this place. Supposedly the lady that lived there before in that house, which is probably why it's haunted. But even like my mother, who would like say at the time she didn't believe in it, even she would hear the voices and like things would happen to her there. So it was just completely insane. But anyways, my grandmother, she would show me these photos, and this is like the first thing that gave me concrete evidence in my mind and others' mind of my belief system in God. Because let me take a sip and then tell you, because this is heavy, and this will probably be our ending topic.
It's all good, brother.
And the reason why I don't talk about this often, even though I have the date tattooed on my arm, it was my first tattoo. My girlfriend at the time, she was like, oh, I'm going to get a keyhole tattoo on my foot, and you should get the key. When I went to go do it, there was a divine intervention that told me not to do it. Like, she wasn't the one for me. Like, literally, there was something that was just, like, in my heart. Like, my heart was pounding, and it was just like, don't do it. Mm-hmm. So I told her, I was like, hey, I want to get this other tattoo. Like, I just had this crazy experience. I don't want to forget the day. Because I know that, like, people, when they have supernatural experiences, they like to, like, then go and question themselves after, talk themselves out of it, tell them it's their imagination or whatever, and say it didn't really happen. This really happened, and there was a witness. There was actually multiple witnesses. So I'm going to tell the story of, like, the first thing that really made me know that God was real. So I was talking to my friend Willie at the time, and I used to call him Benedict. Both of him and I were skaters. Yeah. And in this skate community, there's like a subsection of people that like draw like upside down crosses and 666 and stuff, just to like, they don't actually believe in this stuff usually, but they just like to like, feel like rebels and be bad boys or whatever. So he was like one of those guys. He was an atheist, and he would draw like upside down crosses to be thinking he was being funny or whatever, being a rebel. Anyway, so him and I were talking one day. I grew up moving around, because my dad was in the military, and like I was just like friends with all types of people. Like if I liked you and you were nice to me, I'm friends with you. I don't care if you're a jock, a prep, a skater, whatever. I was all of them. Like growing up, I was like all of those. So because I always felt like free to like change like how I dressed or how what I was interested in or whatever, because I moved around so much. So he was the type of friend that I would talk to like this, talk to about supernatural things when I couldn't talk to anyone else about it, because he was like open to this kind of thing. But he didn't believe in God or anything like that. Like I said, he was drawing the upside down crosses and stuff. But he was like a really like good guy and like a really like open ear. and liked talking about this interesting type of stuff, you know. So I'm telling him, I'm just like, yeah, man, like we're talking about our belief system, what we believe in, the experiences that we've had and stuff. And I'm just like, yeah, dude, I never like, I'm going to tell, it's easier to tell the story in first person. I'm like, yeah, Willie, his name's Willie. It's like, yeah, Willie, I never had like an experience with God, because we're talking about like, you know, we're about to go to the library and look at like witchcraft books and stuff just out of boredom. Yeah. We were just like, oh yeah, let's, you know, we're into Harry Potter. Like, let's see like if the spells are real or whatever. And I'm talking to him that day as we're like thinking about going to the library just out of boredom to like look into this stuff because we're so damn bored. And, I tell him, like, yeah, you know, I've never had any experiences with God, but I've had so many experiences with, like, paranormal stuff. And I tell him about all the paranormal stuff. I'm like, actually, Willie, wait a minute. I did have one experience with God because my grandma, she used to always show me photos of apparitions in photos, like ghost apparitions. Yeah. And one day she showed me a photo that it was a photo of her because she got all dressed up, so she had someone take a photo of her. And in the photo of her, in the right side, there was a very clear apparition of the Virgin Mary. Like, you know, the one where she's like holding baby Jesus and stuff. And it was like so clear. And at the time, my mom wasn't really that much of a believer or whatever, or at least she didn't act like it. I don't know. She wasn't doing anything bad, but she just wasn't into like the ghost stuff specifically, you know, or maybe she just was trying to protect me because she was a good mother. She didn't want me to get into the ghost stuff or whatever. So she was like, oh, no, it's nothing. So when we go and show her this apparition photo, it disappears. But as I tell him this story, all of a sudden, and him and I are both sober, we're in my car, he's in the passenger seat, I'm in the driver's seat. As I tell him that story, as soon as I got finished telling that story, the second I got finished telling him where I told him I saw the Virgin Mary apparition, all of a sudden we get these really warm tingles all over our bodies, and we don't hear anything. We don't see anything other than a bright gold light, both of us. We see a bright gold light, and I remember there was no sense of time while we were in this trance. There was no sense of time. There was no sense of words. There was no like language. It was just a feeling of joy and peace. It was just like complete joy and complete peace. And I remember thinking to myself, man, this is like probably what heaven feels like. I just feel so happy and so at peace. And like that happened. And then when the trance ended, this feeling of joy ended, him and I both just look at each other just like, did that just happen to you? And we're both just like, yes. And then afterwards we correlated. He said he actually saw the Virgin Mary when he was in that trance. So then I go home and I tell my dad about it. I'm like, oh my God, Dad, I've never had anything like this happen in my life. I'm like, Dad, this happened or whatever. He goes upstairs because he just lost a lot of weight at this time. And he's like, he calls me upstairs like, Jake, I haven't worn this suit in over a year. And after you told me the story, I go upstairs to take off this suit because I just lost a bunch of weight. So today I put on the suit for the first time. And I had this book in my pocket the whole day, but I never checked what it was because I haven't worn this suit in a year. When I was changing out of it, I finally checked what it was after you told me the story, and it was like a psalm book. And the psalm book was opened up to a page that said in bold letters, "Let your knowledge of the Lord reflect onto your sons." And I just started crying tears of joy. I was just like, another slap in the face by God. Like, if you think this wasn't me, if you think this wasn't real, think again. And then ever since then, dude, I was like, it doesn't matter what my logic says. That happened, and that was the Virgin Mary, and that was Jesus.
That's holy crap. How it all, like, came together, too.
It was insane, bro. Oh, my God. Well, dude, Will, we're at exactly 10:30. I wish we had more time because this is the most interesting conversation I've ever had in a long time.
I'm loving it here, dude. I can go for till midnight. Dude. I keep going, yeah.
I wish we could. Maybe we'll do a part 2.
Dude, I'd love to do a part 2. Please, yeah. Dude.
Hell yeah.
It'll be fun.
And if Danny and I do the Queen Mary video, please come.
No, I'd love to. Yeah, please. Dude, I'll be down.
I want it to be funny.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, that's why I'm inviting him. I'm inviting you. I want it to be funny. But I like you a lot more because you actually, you're into this super. And so is Danny. I'm not saying I like you more than Danny. I'm just saying I love, like, as soon as I met you, you told me you're into this stuff. I was like, oh, hell yeah, this is going to be a great podcast.
I'm huge into it, dude. Believer, bro. Like, it's real. It's real. You don't believe it, man. I don't have to tell you, but you're going to believe it one day.
Exactly.
It's going to come across you, and you'll be like, oh.
It's going to slap you in the face. Mm-hmm. Well, dude, thanks for coming on, bro.
Oh, tthank you, man. Appreciate you, man. Thank you, man.
Sorry, I'm so sweaty.
No, you're good, man. Me too, bro. Dude, this is fun, dude.
Hell yeah.
I like it, man. This is great. Hell yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Appreciate it.